So most of my trainings before this pandemic used to be classroom, and I was a little skeptical when we started off about the quality of experience that we will create for participants. But what was surprising was, and we tried two versions. We had tried people just being on audio, so they could only see me as the facilitator, and everybody else was just listening to the session. And then we also tried a version where we encouraged participants to come on videos. And that was a completely different experience. We had a sense of one team, one community engaged together, people, expressing their views openly. There was a lot of sharing, and we felt safe, which is exactly what we intend to do in a classroom environment. We try and create a lot of engagement and also create a safe space for people. And I would say that this was as close to a classroom experience, and that was really surprising because I hadn't expected it. Yeah, I'm going to share an experience. I was conducting a session the other day, and I was conducting something on emotions. And one of my participants says that, when I start feeling something, I just distract myself, engage myself into some other activities so that I don't feel it, and I can't sit still. So therefore, my constant endeavor is to keep my mind engaged. And that's what we do largely. But what this does is, it actually doesn't build any peace, any resilience, any strength within, because we are all the time just trying to keep the mind distracted and do not allow the mind to encounter what we're going through. So somebody who is new on this path as a beginner, Mindfulness Essentials will help them understand the nature of mind, body, emotions, and also help them to learn all the basics of a mindfulness practice, whereby after the course, they can independently start practicing and see results. The good thing is that, scientific studies also say that just 7 to 8 hours of mindfulness training, the practitioner can start seeing the benefits. And once you experience the benefits, I'm sure you'll be inspired to practice more. Yeah. One is, do not aim to do longer practices immediately, because that's when we start getting discouraged, because we're trying to achieve, subconsciously we're trying to achieve perfection in the practice. So don't do that. Do it short times, as many times as possible. So if you plan to do a 20-minute session at one go, do not do that. Do 10-minute session of 2 minutes each. 10 sessions of 2 minutes each. That makes it 20 minutes. So the more frequently we do it, and the shorter durations, you will be able to integrate mindfulness in your life. And like we say, building the habit of awareness. So that habit will start building by shorter repetitions. Second, have patience. And sometimes we may be discouraged because we don't see results. That time, I personally what I do is, I start reminding myself that millions of people have been benefited from this, and they've making a huge shift in their life, and that actually encourages me to be a little bit more patient. And these days we expect quick results, so in that we can turn up to be frustrated. So don't do that. Just be patient. And in the initial days, journaling might really help. How it can help is, some days when we don't see results, we are discouraged, or due to some personal engagements, we drop off the practice. Revisiting those pages can actually build inspiration again. And I've seen this happen to many of our participants. Yeah, so I'm going to answer this from my personal experience. And here's what I have to say. We can't choose what life throws at us. What we are only left with is to choose a response. If I have to talk from my own personal experience, mindfulness and this path has turned things around 360 degrees for me. I'm a much better person. I have much more clarity. I'm more productive. And now I know the real source of happiness. So I keep saying this, we do not have to go to exotic vacations to be happy. In your bedroom, happiness can descend into you. So I think mindfulness is essential from my perspective, is to understand what is sustainable peace and happiness, to build that with a very powerful tool like mindfulness, which science also corroborates now. And then I keep saying this again and again because I see this as the biggest change in my life. While all my external conditions right now appear to be challenging, and the pandemic turned it around completely, more challenges to deal with, but in my inner world, I'm living the best phase of my life and it can't get any better. I mean, of course, it can get only better if I have to put it in other words. So I think that's why it is necessary, because we've tried enough number of things in the external world in the expectation that these things will make us happy and peaceful. But I think the current crisis tells us that it has not, and we have to look for sources within, and we have to go inward. So and a lot of people feel well, after coming onto this path I will stop being ambitious and all of that. Actually, that's not true. I keep saying your ambitions, you will have a lot of clarity about them, and then you can pursue meaningful goals.